Alright, so Caitlin looked up to the officers and asked, "Do you need me to stay or to go to the station?"
No, not right now. Go ahead and just call tomorrow. They will let you know if they need any additional information before they can release the car. If they need any additional information about what happened tonight. But that is a thing. Just don't worry about it until tomorrow.
She nods and she's um about to turn away. Um and then she stops and she asks, she had my keys. Um my house keys were on there. Um can I get those?
Yeah. Um, he gestures at the car. It's like, we're gonna tow it anyway because we don't know if there's mechanical failure involved or not. But yeah, one sec. And he heads over. He opens up the driver's door of the car. And he flips. There's like where before he had his little notepad. He's now on a full clipboard, and he just flips up the first couple of pages, runs his finger down the page, trying to find something. Yeah. Okay. Do you have your phone on you?
Yeah.
All right. Here's the address. He starts reading it off to you.
She's
Obviously, it's at the corner of Barnes and Noble.
she's typing it in.
Like, all right, that's where they were taking her. Um, the medical examiner and assistant should be in. They got called in to try and address it. Um, they'll walk you through the paperwork of how to deal with this.
Okay.
He just kind of nods and you tell that he was opening his mouth to try and say something like "Have a good night, everyone," before that was not going to happen.
Nope.
Nope. And so one of the other guys, walks you guys away from the scene, and he kind of just he's not wearing a hat, but he just kind of nods at everybody and says, "Stay safe out there," and turns to head back towards what he needs to do.
And that's when uh assistant with everyone. She takes a moment to collect herself and shoves her phone toward whoever is sitting closest. Says, "This is where she's at."
So whoever's did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now we can't hear Emily. Awesome. Discord
Oh
needs to
no.
choke on a barrel of dicks. You're lighting up, Emily, but nothing's coming through. Just disconnect and reconnect.
Discord's pulling a Skype, guys.
Yeah, no kidding.
Gross.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
I guess I gotta stop cussing at everybody.
No, don't do that.
Emily, I'm getting really fucking tired of your shitty goddamn language.
Well, fuck you too.
Demonetized. Anyway, so
Like anyone would monetize us anyway.
Right?
that's fair.
Much like the molar joke, can we go one episode without getting demonetized?
Like, who do you think we are? Critical Role? Come on now.
Production standards.
Right.
Reliable
Please, they
recording.
have an episode where they go to a porn shop.
That's fair.
That is fair.
And it actually was plot relevant.
I'm not sure if that means that I have higher standards or if I need to step up my game.
The second one, definitely.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. If we don't
How
have
have we not done that yet?
Right?
because
Yeah, is this not a World of Darkness campaign?
you know, to be fair, I did ask you if you had an adult section at your bookstore.
I can confirm that. She did ask that.
Anyway, so who's riding shotgun at the moment?
I guess Courtney will also be in the front seat.
Okay. I mean, I guess it is 2 bench seats, so you got 2 people up front. Either way, it doesn't matter. So somebody's running GPS. Ben's driving. It's not terribly far away. A handful of blocks. You guys end up heading off. And the building is fairly straightforward. It's just a concrete face building. There's not really a whole lot of aesthetic of anything going on there. And well, I mean, the lights are on. And the door, there's not even any steps leading up to it. The door is just flush with the sidewalk. And there is not a damn soul on this road. Oh, though there is one thing that we need to address when we come back. As you guys were starting to leave, Verglis comes back to Ozymandias.
Uh-huh.
And I just need to double check what his influences are. Okay. And pretty much, I'm just going to paraphrase what he reported, is that he could not sense anything, he could not find anything, but there was a great deal of curiosity both from pretty much everyone present, except for the adolescents, or as he called them, the undeveloped.
Okay.
But yeah, Verglis was not able to find anything significant, despite he did comment though that he considered how the ghosts might taste.
Out of character, you can't send this dude out anywhere without him eating something.
You know
He
what?
didn't actually eat them this time, though.
I can't be mad at him because this is what he does.
So a familiar is a rank 1 spirit. It has 2 points worth of influences. Both of his are in curiosity.
Oh no.
Because he's here to learn. He is himself curious. And he also actually has the ability to eat ghosts.
And like a toddler, the only way he learns is by shoving things in his mouth.
Yeah, a little bit. He has, like, literally the 2 Newman that he was able to start with. One is called Consume Will, and the other one is called Spaces Beyond. Spaces Beyond lets him reach from the twilight into the physical and mess with stuff. or to mess with things further away than he would normally be able to reach. Consume Will literally lets him reconfigure himself so that he can feed on the corpus of ghosts to replenish his essence.
Yum yum yum.
Well, see, so the second one is a lot like telekinesis. Like if I was in the spirit, if I was in the Twilight, I could use my telekinesis to write "get out" in the mirror.
Exactly.
It's like a poltergeist.
Yeah, I can play poltergeist.
What the difference is, whereas you just kind of will a thing to move, he actually like reaches his little tendrils forward, and then they just kind of like disappear.
That's fun.
Little micro portals.
Oh, neat.
So, whereas you would telekinesis the lipstick to go right, get out on the thing, he would actually reach over and like grab somebody by the neck.
Also, again, you can use your telekinesis to do more poltergeist stuff, like leave bite marks on people.
Yes, I know. I listened to that. I listened to this last session.
Telekinesis, very effective. It was a good choice. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much Verglis's report. Like, there was no sated curiosity within that area. Everyone's curiosity still hungered.
Okay.
So, I would like everyone to roll me a wits plus composure. If you have dots in animal ken, add them to your die pool.
But don't roll it if you don't.
Correct.
So wits plus composure.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Ben rolled good.
I like how there's always that one last die where it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about this.
That's because if you roll a 10, you roll another die.
Yep.
You have exploding dice. Oh, okay. Poor Brooke, crit failed. Or dramatic failure, sorry. So, what I'm about to describe, you don't even see any of these
Okay.
because you're just not catching it. We'll say you're too emotionally distracted. You guys pull up in front of the building, and you get out. And actually, Ben, I realized I should have had you roll something else completely.
Oh, really?
Oh well, still appropriate. Ben, you're not alone. I mean, not you. I mean, obviously you are still alone. You're the only one to go here, but you feel something kin-like, and your eyes are drawn to a very large bird sitting on an awning on the second floor, watching you.
I have a question.
Yes, it's black.
I was gonna ask if I feel any of this strangeness as well because of my ability.
No,
Okay.
because you haven't activated it, so
The one that would let me transform as.
no, because yours is not a supernatural radar too. You have to be aware that it would even be an option.
All right.
Do I not have the supernatural radar?
No, you do. And that's kind of where I realized, like, I should have also had you roll whatever that is too, but I think that it's the same dice pool because it's
Ben stares at
That
this
was
raven.
adorable.
Ben stares at this bird.
Burp, burp, burp. Burp is the word.
Is it an owl?
it is not an owl.
Good.
Okay, so Jimmy, you. Okay, so I just double checked on Unseen Sense. There is no roll involved with it, so you know that there's something here. But given that you rolled 0, you also are not catching on to anything of what it might be. At least not on your your own
Okay,
volition.
so it's like it's like there's all of our weirdness and there's another weirdness.
Yeah, you get out of the car and you realize that there's something else here.
It's a spidey sense.
Yeah, but because you rolled 0 on your roll,
Yeah,
you have no
it's
idea what it is.
right. Something's here.
Yeah, so let me get back to this though. So Ben, you see this very big bird on the awning, and it's looking at you. It's very dedicated and looking at you at the moment. Now, Tsukiko and Ifa also noticed this bird. But Ben, because you got 3, you kind of like slowly turn your head and you look across the street and you see 3 more on the roof across the street. And then Courtney's comment of, "There's something going on here."
He nudges Courtney and nods his head towards the birds.
Oh, what? What? Courtney? What?
There's something here, and it looks like there's a bird.
We're outside, Courtney. Of course there are birds.
At that point,
But normal,
Ethan's
but normal
going
birds
to.
don't trigger whatever the hell I think that we're all weird.
But at that point, Aoife's gonna nudge. How does it? Baz? Or. What? How
Hazel.
do you say it?
Basil,
Basil.
Basil,
Hazel.
Basil.
She says Basil. It sounds somewhat normal.
Okay. She'd nudge Basil and gesture toward the birds with her head. Nod toward them.
Yeah, you can't see this bird. You have no idea what the fuck they're on about.
I don't see any bird.
Oh, good. Invisible birds. Like, that isn't something awful every time we see one of those.
I mean, technically, never mind. I'm not gonna.
We've had a long night. Are you sure you're not just... You know what? Maybe it is me. I don't know.
As an additional aside here, Tsukiko,
Yes.
you remember this building. You've been here before. During one of your classes. It was a hands-on example class of like, and this is what somebody's guts look like after they've been shot with a hollow point. If this is going to be too gross for you, you probably don't want to do these jobs.
At least not in this area.
Sukiko eyes the building and she speaks out. I've been here before for my classes. I wonder why there's birds here. Strange birds, right?
The
Well,
raven
Brooke
on
can't.
the raven on
Brooke-
the awning kind of looks over at Tsukiko, tilts its head.
She also tilts her head, mimicking the bird.
Its head goes to a 90-degree angle.
Okay, you win.
It caws. Well, ravens don't caw. They have that much throatier sound.
I like to call it a grackle.
Basil, you now can notice the bird because it's not quiet when they make that sound.
Bah!
Ravens are loud, and you realize that the reason you couldn't see it is because like there was a blackened window right behind it, and so you couldn't see shit.
Oh, bird. Right, bird.
Bird.
No.
No.
But is it the word?
You know what,
God
bitches? If you
damn it.
continue this, I swear to God, I'm out.
Well, that's part of the problem. You guys are still outside conversing about the bird while it's watching you. Are you
I
gonna
thought
go
we-
inside, or are you
I thought
gonna
we
wait?
were
Yumiko goes
walking.
inside.
I'm going inside.
We were all going inside. I thought we were walking
Okay.
up while we discussed, like,
Oh,
idle chatter.
I don't know. You guys kept talking. I said you got out of the car and like you look up and you see the thing, and like nobody said they were going inside. Yeah, so we'll just say that it was small chit chat as you guys are going up, and Sukiko's like walking as she's trying to tilt her head at the bird, like you win this round. So
Now I imagine Tsukiko like Luna Lovegood.
kind of.
I love it.
So
But-
Basil's the last person to walk through the door. You guys come walk up to the desk, and what you see is this guy.
Good lord.
Matt,
Don't
He-
worry, you wear socks.
He is not wearing the sunglasses. He's got these like deep chocolate eyes, and he just kind of looks up at you and he smiles a bit, and then he stops smiling. And unfortunately, yes, he is wearing a tight fit, like Under Armour shirt, under his Hawaiian shirt, under his snug fitting vest
With a tie. He's wearing a tie.
with a tie.
With a fucking Hawaiian shirt.
He does not have the backpack on, at least,
and a mohawk.
and the mohawk.
Faux hawk.
Yeah, it's really more of a faux hawk.
Whatever. He could not be any more flamboyant if he was walking around with a rainbow cape. Okay, actually, on the second thought, that might do it.
Hans, I mean,
Oh
Did we accidentally Hans? Oh, now I know what this game is missing. I need to. Oh my goodness! I need to make Hans as a Moros mage.
Oh my god. This is why Esther doesn't talk to them.
Oh, Mika never met Hans. Hans is the very flamboyant German necromancer. If he was D&D character, he would be chaotic good at the time, and he has a degree in architecture and construction.
I love him already.
He uses the zombies. I mean the employees to go and build things like fixing up a Denny's. Because superheroes, sometimes there's collateral.
Go away,
God.
Hans.
I just kind of always thought it was entertaining that all of us Americans, except for Frito, wound up in Hamburg. And then Hans winds up in
In fucking Colorado, yes. Okay, so no, this is not Hans, though he may make an appearance later
yes.
as a villain.
No.
That's fine with me, actually. I
Hans
don't-
is not allowed to be a villain.
I like how Jimmy's response. That's just an immediate, very deeply
No.
felt no.
All right. Go up. Give him the secret gay handshake. No, I'm just kidding.
Indicate
His technique of the secret gay handshake is impeccable, and then he does the jazz fingers at the end.
Of course. No.
and of course you have to flash your gold hoop earring and your pinky ring.
It looks like he has gauges.
I-
Either way, point is.
I was naming out of date gay signs.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so you guys come walking in now that we've had that palate cleanser a little bit. Though, to be fair, I think this is the first time that talking with Hans has made somebody felt clean afterwards.
That's
I
it.
love
Somewhere-
Hank. He's my
somewhere.
favorite.
Hans
Somewhere-
showed up in Star Wars too.
Somewhere a little bat-faced alien is being very, very angry. Very angry.
Cassie's not okay. Are you done? Are you sure?
Apparently not.
Okay, Matt, you need to go and get the pillow and put her out of her misery. She can't stop.
Shh, it'll all be over soon.
Don't you know what happens when you can't stop laughing?
I wish I could get her that out of the breath with sex. Are you crying? Well, I'm glad that Hans is what made your week complete. And by being teased with him not being Hans. Oh crap, she's back to giggling. Whatever, we're just gonna move on. Somebody else is gonna have to do the talking. So, he kind of sits up when he sees you guys, and he smiles, and then he realizes, it's 2 a.m. and they're coming to the freaking medical examiner's office. This is not a happy visit. And the smile, he doesn't say that, but you can see that whole train of thought just come crashing through his eyes as the smile kind of flickers and fades. He's like, good evening, what can I help you out with?
You are officially 100% too colorful for this building.
Somebody's gotta be. I mean, it's, let's be honest, we deal with some of the shittiest times in people's lives.
This would be one of them.
I kind of gathered.
And Caitlin has tear streaks down her cheeks.
I take it that you guys are here for, and he lists the address of where the car accident was.
That'd be us.
Yeah. Okay. So, tell you what. Are all of you familiar with the victim?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Close personal friends and all that?
Yes.
She was driving my car.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna save you a little bit of bullshitting here. Yeah. So we all know that she died a month ago, right?
What do you mean?
Attempt to act
That was
surprised.
a
It was clearly a mistake.
No. Okay. Skipping all the bullshitting then. He points at Tsukiko without even actually looking at her. You're not breathing. And then he looks up from the paper that he was looking at, and he looks up at Tsukiko.
Excuse you?
Okay.
yeah.
So something happened. I'm just inferring here because I've got the bunch of her paperwork already pulled up right here, right? Because we processed her body at this office a month and a half ago.
Like Brooke, this is actually news to Brooke, but she was, gone. And she's gonna look at the rest of them. She actually fucking died?
No. There was cover up. She was supposed to be dead. Now she's actually dead. This is a problem. So, here's how this is gonna have to go down. You all. He gestures towards the door off to the side. You're gonna go talk to the medical examiner and her company. They're gonna help get you set up. Because this is a problem for everybody. And he, again, looking at Tsukiko, because I know your bosses don't want to have to clean this up a second time. It's probably not going to look well for you. And I don't know who the hell the rest of y'all work with, for or by or whatever, but if Natalie here was part of your guys' little troop, it's kind of on you to deal with, so that people don't try to bite your heads off. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, my name's Eli. Nice to meet you.
I shake his hand.
Oh, look at you, all nice and assertive. I like it.
Yeah, Courtney just kind of gives a half-hearted wave.
Ben glares.
Well, for those of you who can't see Matt, he had held his hand out to shake.
It was more like trying to be a pointing gesture, but you know.
Yumiko's also glaring.
Hey, look, I'm not the one that put you guys into this problem. I'm telling you, go down that hall, take the second door to the left, and then there's people that can help you get rid of the problem. And give you maybe some sort of sense of closure before we have to get rid of the evidence.
Yeah.
Don't be pissed at me. And he kind of just makes a gesture of like, I don't know, what would you call this? Kind of like throws one hand up in the air, goes back to looking at his, like trying to sort papers out to figure out what needs to go onto the clipboard and off of it.
Tsukiko makes her way there.
Yeah, Courtney will.
We're all going.
All right, seriously, what the fuck did I miss?
The day
Everyone's
that
life going to hell.
the day that Ben Wendigo.
But I think what we can say is just they all agreed that we'll refer to it as the incident.
The day of the incident, Natalie's apartment got ruined. That's why there was the auction of her stuff last week, a couple weeks ago. That's
Right, I get that she was presumed dead.
yeah.
I
That's what we're
didn't
talking
realize there was like a body or something.
It wasn't her body.
Obviously
nothing-
not.
No, here's the
I
kicker.
just know that it wasn't her body because she was
I
there.
knew nothing about this as well.
Nobody knew anything about
Same.
it except for one person. Mika, that's your cue.
What?
Your sire is the one that covered it up. And he told you that.
Yumiko just has her head down. My sire covered it up for us. For her.
Okay, there's covering it up and faking a death.
I
Does
didn't say it was a smart one.
Dirty Sanchez have no brakes?
There's covering it up and killing someone to cover it up.
I mean, now you're assuming that he found a fresh body and then made it a body.
I don't know how he did it, but somehow somebody died.
You know what? None of this matters right now. Okay, just it happened.
You're right.
What's done is done.
You hear Eli from down the hall. That seems like a prudent stance to take right now.
Shut up,
Second
Eli.
door on the left.
You overtly familiar bastard.
So, who's opening the door first?
Courtney will.
I'll let him.
Okay. So, these are the two people that you see in the room.
Oh, they're adorable.
The one in pink over there is not actually holding flowers at the time. But she's the one sitting behind the desk, and the other one with the sassy face is sitting on the desk.
Oh no, she's hot.
Keep it together, Basil. Keep it together.
Actually,
I was waiting for that.
on that note, she does. Okay, Courtney, you're the first one to open the door.
Uh-huh.
Remember your comment about like Courtney got hot,
Not Courtney.
or sorry, Brooke got Courtney's comment about Brooke got hot.
Yeah.
Okay, you walk in, and this chick, oh, top shelf. You feel like you're a little bit high. She's even hotter than Brooke.
Huh.
And you can tell that the that red in her hair is dye. Her hair is normally just jet black.
All right, if she's that hot, then it probably just like came right out of Brooke's mouth.
Perfect. So Courtney walks in, Ben walks in, and then
Here comes Brooke. She just
And then
sounds like, oh
Brooke-
no, she's hot.
at which point the gal just kind of looks up from what she was looking at, and she just gives you that exact smirk.
I
Son
wish
of
you
a
stopped sitting
bitch.
on my desk.
Ben looks back at Basil. Stay on target.
I don't know what that means.
Focus.
She's
At
looking for
that-
the exhaust port.
If Caitlin were in any kind of state of mind to laugh, she would have. You
So
do get a slight smile at the stay on target joke.
so what did Persephone say?
I wish you'd stop sitting on my desk.
I wish you'd stop making it such a nice perch.
That isn't what most people think when they see a desk.
Well, obviously none of us are most people.
The banter is witty, but let's get down to business because we've had a very long night.
Oh, you have no idea. Okay, so I'm assuming you are this Wendigo that I've heard about. And she just kind of puts one hand on top of the other and just sets it in her lap and then crosses one leg over the other.
I am disliking the amount of people who are overtly familiar with me.
That's my job. That's all of our jobs. You remember Stormwing?
I thought his name was Shadowed Wing. Out of
Shadowed
character.
Wing. Yeah, Shadowed Wing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember him.
Remember he mentioned to you something about there's somebody in charge of that little gathering group on top of the Space Needle.
Could someone please tell me what the fuck is going on?
She's like me.
Oh,
Yes and no.
I'll let you
And he
explain
didn't specifically say the Space Needle. He just said the highest point in Seattle. I assume the Space Needle, but that could easily have been any mountain nearby.
She puts her two index fingers together and holds it up in front of her face in a point. She's like, the point. He was trying to be all riddly.
God, that was hot.
I like
Son
her.
of a bitch, shut up.
Courtney's just nodding.
that. Persephone just kind of claps her hands. There's obviously a reason other than thirsting after my associate here that you guys showed up.
Sorry.
I'm not thirsting.
Sorry. I'm
What
sorry.
are you talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, I know that you where you guys stomp around, and I know who you are, Wendigo. I've not picked up any of the names of the rest of you, but we can get to that in a little bit. For right now, you can all call me Angeline.
Wait, what?
Angeline?
No, before that.
Oh,
I'm asking
I-
out of character. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So she's like, I know who Wendigo is here. I don't know the rest of your guys' names, but we have time for that later. Call me Angeline, and then she turned to gesture towards the lady in pink behind the desk. And this is
She's going to take a moment to actually look at the group. Should I do a roll to see if she recognizes ago?
Do you have eidetic memory?
No.
You do not. Yes, roll me your intelligence plus composure.
Let me. Composure and what?
Intelligence.
Two.
Yes, you do.
I am Dr. Baker.
Oh, don't give them the boring name.
She ends up
Whatever.
actually looking at Angela, or is it Angela or Angelique? Wait, which one was?
And Angeline.
She looks at Angeline just with a flat look of don't.
Anyway, we have this little arrangement. Details of it not really relevant at the moment, but your friend, I apologize, but yes, she is gone. The Korax, you know, the ones that are like me.
The
You probably
Ravens,
saw,
yes.
yeah, you probably saw some of them outside. We well, probably the best way to put it is Wendigo, your kind and our kind are kind of like cousins. Like, we're all cousins to the wolves too, because we're all related in one way or another, the changers. But
we all have a bloodline.
but the Korax and the Wendigo are all really associated with the dead. You with more the act of the being dead part, and us with learning from them. So when Dr. Baker here ended up finding somebody who was not supposed to be coming back through her office, she called on us to try and get a little bit of more insight. So I already know with what was going on tonight. And given that that seems like a personal endeavor, I guess is probably the best way to put it, I have not relayed that information yet.
That sounds like a threat.
No. Has nothing to do with threat. This is more of a, your friend just died, and I'm trying to, not go and tell everybody why.
We would offer the
Thank
same
you.
commonalities, I guess, to the family, but as you said, this person was dead a month ago.
So, why don't you tell us what was going on and what we can do to help, because having the same person show up in the obituary again is problematic.
Well, her showing up a second time was not our decision. In fact, her showing up the first time wasn't really our decision.
Yeah, I've heard about that from Tiger Mountain. No details, they just gave me the summary. So
You
what
made a
happened
dumb
tonight?
move,
Yeah?
and it went pear-shaped.
She wasn't even there.
It still held her tether. It had access to her life. I guess it decided to take it.
Yes and no. Okay, so so actually this would have been more of one of the things that Persephone would have learned when she did her mage sight thing on the body and whatnot. So I will give you the summary here.
We sent her away so that she would be safer.
We sent her away so she couldn't be forced to betray the group.
Well, both. It's,
Partially my fault. I made it dangerous to betray us.
Cat, stop it. Dr. Baker's just gonna let them talk for a bit before responding and going. It out of all the cases I've seen come through here, this one was a little interesting. I will say that. The cat. God damn it! He wants to play fetch right now.
It's poor timing, Cat.
The thing she was connected to, it couldn't hurt her for no reason. At most, if anything, it seemed to be leeching what life she had from her.
Which fits with what I saw when I took her last I did our thing. And so the Koraks are able to see either the good or the bad in somebody's death. I can see both, which is why I came. The good here is that having this, and you can like see from the look on her face that she's kind of like really disgusted with that. She thinks about what this thing is. Thing out of its hole, those of us who are able to deal with spiritual things like that are going to be more inclined to actually be helpful. They've kind of been a boogeyman for a while. But it'll be hard for people to not know that they're real. So the good in this is that as long as things are moved forward appropriately, her death won't be in vain, because we can force people to have to deal with the reality that these things are out there and a problem.
a big one.
And obviously the downside is that right now there is only one, as she turns to look at Aoife, like her, willing to try and do that.
I am. She pauses. She looks like she's hesitating for a moment before her eyes harden up again. She seems to have made a decision. These have to go.
This thing needs to face the judge.
Oh, you know about the judge.
Yes.
That's good. The judge will help. The judge, though, is kind of... the judge doesn't leave their courthouse. I don't think they can. They might be able to, and they just don't want to. It's hard to say. But, at the very least, the judge is one of the closest things to an authority over everybody. Like, it can't... If you're outside of of its domain specifically, it really doesn't have any sway to command any of the spirits to do a thing. But if you are condemned by the judge, that comes with a mark, comes with a stench, and all of the spirits will know. Which is both good and bad, because spirits are definitely all about that vigilante justice. Like, I will do the thing.
I don't have any idea what most of you are talking about. This is very confusing.
In
In
Tacoma, there's a
Candy.
personification of justice.
It's the thing that we were going to drag the owlbear to once we incapacitated it.
Okay then.
Because it's been making pacts that it shouldn't be, infecting human lives that it shouldn't be, and yeah. That was the plan.
So that was the plan. I guess the question is not right now, guys. What's the plan moving forward? Have you gotten that far yet?
We can't leave it alive. Not
Normally I'd say we should regroup and come back when we have more information, more firepower, whatever, but Ben makes it sound like we gotta move quickly now because it knows what's up, and that makes sense, honestly.
because there's
If
more things than just it. There's
if I may interrupt, do you know what happened to the spirit?
It went into the physical realm.
no, it didn't.
No.
No, it didn't. I thought it did. Sorry.
Yeah, because the moment you say that, Angeline's eyes get really big.
No. If it
No,
had
no.
been
Out of character, if it didn't actually happen that way, Courtney wouldn't have said that.
it used. Yeah, Ben looks like he's about to like a little, like it tastes bad on his tongue to even say it. Magic
It used
to move to
not
another realm.
spirit,
Baker kind of
Not-
smiles a
not
bit on
spirit
like
magic.
being disgusted with magic.
Okay, so as an out of clarification, it used a spirit numina to breach the gauntlet away from a locus.
but
Okay.
it did use
So-
magic that was not spirit magic.
Yeah,
for
yes.
Other things.
So it used sorcery, mage sorcery, to cast other spells. The way that it fled was through using a numina.
Okay, I thought you said that it used its arms to do little hand gestures and magic shit to breach. So, which I think isn't that what you said?
Yes, but that's because like these things like they'll even their numina they'll do through different gestures because like even if they used a vampire discipline.
Okay, then Ben's less disgusted now.
Okay, and that's why I wanted to clarify. So you're good.
Yeah, it used. Go ahead.
No, you finish your sentence.
Yeah, it used. It breached the gauntlet and headed to another place. Not the physical world, though.
I see.
And not where we drew it out from. Not its hole.
So it did not return home, but it's not in the shadow either. So that means it's in that gray between, right? The twilight.
Possibly.
The realm of the dead. Yes. The ghost place.
Yes. Okay, so that's good and also problematic. So when one of the a spirit comes through the gauntlet and does not have an anchor, something to try and stabilize itself, they bleed essence. They just hemorrhage it out. And even a powerful spirit can wither away within minutes and then be shunted back to the shadow.
But could they not follow the trail of essence to at least track it?
She kind of fixes Ben with a look as if trying to think about something. Maybe. It's not something that, as she gestures towards, her own chest, not something that we can do. I don't know about Wendigo here.
Caitlin
But the wolves can.
I wonder if I'd be able to do it.
Caitlin looks like she's thinking for a moment. Says, if they bleed the essence and can wither away, does that mean it's going to resort to feeding on others?
Yeah.
That's how it became what it is.
Quite possibly, yes. Actually, probably a very high likely yes.
Yeah, and as it feeds on certain things, depending on how much it feeds on certain things and how indiscriminate it gets, it may change. So it may not be the same spirit that you fought at the judge's place.
And its band could change.
Which would mean that the ammo that we'd have against it is nulled.
Yes and no. It takes a lot for a band to change. Normally, the band either gets stronger or weaker, or a spirit will get another band. They don't tend to trade them out. It happens, but it's very, very rare.
She nods.
And to point out the elephant in the room, if it's bleeding and it needs to get home to heal, if it happens to get back to that place, Aoife, every one of its kind will know that we're out to get it and that you helped us.
Exactly.
And it's not the strongest.
No.
That is worrisome for you folk.
And they know me. I am not bound to them, but
There might be another loophole they could exploit to do the same thing that happened to Natalie.
From the stories that I've heard about these things, there's probably a dozen loopholes. This one may just not have known enough of them. Okay, so here's where you guys have to make a decision. Are we doing this tonight?
Yes.
Is that a good idea? We're exhausted.
Would you rather be dead? And she just kind of smiles. Like, you can tell the dark humor is totally her thing. Like,
Okay. If you want to rest, go for it. I don't need to sleep.
oh, that's got to be
Interesting.
helpful.
Not all of us are dead.
I'm not dead.
At this point, he's looking between Courtney and Tsukiko, or she is. Sorry.
That comment. Actually, Baker's gonna end up using the death save thing, aka her version of Mage Sight.
Okay, make your roll.
One moment. Let me find out the page. Oh shoot, I don't have it listed.
Obviously,
What?
I would
I did
rather
not make a
be
thing for
dead.
it, so
Oh, because you didn't buy the rote. That's why.
yeah.
No, I mean it's fine. I know how to push myself. I can do
Exactly,
this
do I
tonight
roll that?
if you want to.
That would be just death and occult, right?
No, you will be rolling manipulation, or sorry, wits plus occult,
Okay.
or not. Sorry, not wits plus occult. Wits plus death. That's all you get. Because you
Oh.
don't get unless you have the rote, you do not get a skill.
So
One
Caitlin
success.
is looking at Ben to see what he's feeling. Because
Anger.
out of anybody, he
Oh,
may not.
Courtney's pissed off
Nobody
too.
really
That's
took a lot of damage, but he was the most.
Okay.
I don't know.
So one thing at a time then. So Persephone there went and activated Grim Sight. Mage gains the Mage Sight, perceiving the supernatural through the lens of death. He sees the weight of death around a person, not his likelihood of death, unless a subject has a terminal illness, but how often they have rubbed shoulders, knowingly or not, with the dead or dying. Those who have suffered the loss of many loved ones or who have killed many people tend to bear heavy burdens. The site also applies to things or places. So,
Oh
you know
shit.
for a fact that like you're used to washing out the background stuff here because this is where you work and you've been here for years. When you look at everybody else here, Tsukiko, it hangs on her heavily because she's already dead. She doesn't really, as far as the second part of it, where it's the how often they brush shoulders with the dead or the dying and whatnot. Not really very much. It's actually more prevalent on Ben than it is on Tsukiko. But it is the most prevalent on the lady in the yellow shirt.
Baker just kind of furrows her brow, sitting back in her chair.
How often she has been around the dead or dying is around her like a fucking shroud. You can barely see her through the faint image, the faint wisps of shadow.
What
and
about
death
Courtney?
energy.
Just don't mention cake.
Out of character has nothing to do with the cake.
I know.
As far as Courtney goes, not really. Courtney, like there's obviously like a baseline because of these people being around Tsukiko fairly consistently. For Courtney, he's pretty much right along that baseline, and so is Aoife.
Oh, wait, but even with his going on spirit walks with Ben,
Because in the spirit world is not full of dead things. Those are spirits representative of life.
oh, okay.
You are now yourself a representation of life, of what it is to be a Courtney.
I mean, I can see dead people, but that doesn't mean I interact with them.
Exactly. So Aoife and Courtney, next to nothing. Tsukiko, it's like, well, she is dead, so that's kind of, a bunch of white noise there. Ben, it's pretty heavily on him because, well, for one, Wendigo, for two, backstory.
I didn't hurt people.
God damn it.
And Basil looks like a goddamn Grim Reaper.
Like I said, she just kind of like sits back in her chair, just looking at the. Whatever you decide, I would suggest that you probably decide it either tonight or within the few hours if you plan on going out after this thing.
At this point, it's almost 3 a.m., so you've got maybe 3 or 4 hours before Tsukiko's not going to be able to help. Actually, no, Sun's not coming until that. So, yeah, about 4 hours.
We need to do this. Before we lose the ability to track him.
Angeline, how long do you think it would take to find him?
That's not a thing that we can do. I mean, if we knew the right ritual, but it's not a Korax thing. But what is a Korax thing is having the info and giving that info to who's supposed to have it, who needs to have it. You guys were in Tacoma, by where the judge is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. There's a pack of wolves within city limits over there who I tell you what, if you let me do the talking, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I think so too. Shit.
That smirk in the picture comes right back as she's giving Basil the side eye.
Beat Basil.
I don't know what that means.
And I'm the
Yumiko
one
just
with
kind
the
of smiles.
and I'm the one with the unlikable or with the dislike of books.
He's making a comment about throwing someone under a bus. Or in this case, you throwing yourself under the bus.
Stephen King's It. God damn it.
I haven't seen that movie.
I'm still reading the book.
Oh my
So
god, you
there
guys.
is one thing also that should be mentioned here. Angeline is fairly young,
Like how young?
like 19.
Y'all are dirty.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
As it repeats in Baker voice, stop thirsting after my associate.
So, but now here's the other thing though. Despite the fact that she's like really young, you can tell from like the surety of her body language as well as like the look in her eyes. She's also been doing this for a while.
So
She is young. Innocent does not apply.
Y'all still
Right.
dirty.
So we just got to get the wolves on. Do we got
And-
enough time to get together a net?
I don't think we'll need to.
If the reason that he was so difficult to pin down was, as you put it, he was siphoning her health, her life. Oh, he doesn't have that anymore.
There is a possibility. I don't know the nature of this ritual that connects it, but there is a likelihood he might try seeking out another.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Then
Yeah, we're not.
They
We're definitely going after him tonight because I'm not going to let him force another person into another deal.
the ritual tended to mostly involve willingness to at least find some kind of knowledge.
And as
Mostly.
I'm sorry, I don't know your names, but as your friend, she gestures to Ben. As your friend said, there were loopholes made.
Okay, so, I think we're all in agreement then. We're gonna go do this. Baker, do you want in on this?
It does kind of bother me that this showed up. I could help some, yes.
Okay.
I'm not refusing any help.
All right. Cool. So, yeah, let's tell Eli to hold down the fort, and we're going on a road trip.
Hold on. You're the guy at the front desk, Captain Colorful.
Eli?
Captain Colorful. He said you could help us with our whole dead friend problem. Specifically that she has been dead already.
Yes.
How's that go down?
I do not have the means to bring her back, but I can easily have the paperwork show that it was a natural cause death. A lot of times, people aren't put into the newspaper because family wish them not to be added. I could easily just write or check the box saying, do not add an obituary.
And there's enough. It doesn't go very far, but there's enough pull with people in. There are some cops I'm on fairly friendly terms with, and they know enough to know that they shouldn't ask questions. As long as I don't call in favors too often, it's not a problem.
And this isn't the first time something like this, well, maybe not this case exactly, but where somebody's death needed not be recorded.
For the safety of everybody.
And what do we owe you for this?
At this point, Angeline just looks over at Baker like, she just kind of
right into that, Ben.
she
Figure
just kind of
sits there for like a long moment, just like
Angeline's got both hands up, like, don't ask me. Don't. I'm not involved in this.
You just told someone you owed them a favor.
Ben, why?
We'll discuss
Way to
that
go.
later.
Oh, son of a bitch!
Trust me when I say I will not put you all at harm.
Yeah, sure. I believe that.
Well, you know what? First, apparently, we're putting her at harm, so let's move on with business.
And a stipulation: you do not, if something occurs, we do not speak about it to the public.
You know, she's laughing, but it's kind of funny how often we do have to specify that.
Yeah, Baker's face has not changed from like the flat expression as she's just staring at Basil.
Okay. All right, I'll try. Because I really enjoy spending time in the asylum. Yeah, I love that. Love it.
I think it's safe to say that none of us.
I'm sorry.
She
Mental health
side eyes
facility.
Courtney for a second. Are going to spill anything.
Not sure why you're looking at me.
Out of character is because of the whole passing out in the middle of Discord.
Oh, you guys let that go. God damn it.
Never.
Anyway, so at this point, Angeline just kind of like, okay, so we are burning moonlight because I'm pretty sure she has a bedtime, as she points at Tsukiko. So if we're going, let's go.
Fine.
All right, you guys following us?
Kind of. You guys are gonna follow me, and bye, Eli, as you guys go walking past his desk, and he just kind of waves like, "Field trip time." You know what? I don't want to know. Oh, okay, field trip time.
Do
All right.
the usual.
Yeah, have fun. And he goes and actually locks the front door after you guys leave. And Angeline just kind of, as she's walking towards your guys' car, just kind of like tilts her head up a little bit and just says, "All right, guys, go find the shattered glass. Tell them we need to talk." The one that was on the awning kind of flits down, and like as it touches the ground with its feet and it goes to right itself, it just keeps getting taller until eventually it turns into this dude minus the cigarette and then the bleeding. And he's just like,
It's a good thing he's not bleeding.
yeah. And so he's just kind of, and Ben, you can tell his whole outfit's been dedicated because the leather jacket is still. He kind of gives Ben he just raises his chin a little bit, like as a nod of like, "Hey, what's up?"
Ben also nods.
It's Caitlin's turn to be like,
They give each other the leather jacket secret handshake.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's the equivalent of same hat.
Right. And then he kind of looks over at Angeline. He's like, "Shattered glass. Why are we going to Tacoma tonight?" And then she just says, "There's a mail ship. We're hunting it." He goes, "Okay, I'll get the guns." All right, see you there. And he shifts and starts flying off. And
I'd also like to point out that the same reaction that Courtney had with Angeline is the same reaction he has when he sees Dude.
Dude,
Oliver.
Caitlin had that reaction.
And Yumiko's just smiling to herself, going, I could so do this.
So now here's the additional kicker, though.
So here's
So-
Ben and Brooke stand there just completely unfazed.
And Ben sits
So-
at the back and goes, "Now I know what sides of the fence all of you stand on."
Oh, come on, you knew what side of the fence Caitlin stood on anyway. You got a
Yeah,
date
I
with
was
her.
I was gonna say Courtney and Caitlin are both on the fence.
No,
Well, Yumiko
Um,
was like, I could still hook those guys up with
maybe.
each other. Yeah, I could try this out. Yeah.
So now here's the other thing. As far as a mechanical thing, like he is very composed. Like, yeah, sure, he's kind of conventionally handsome, but between him and Angeline is the one with 4 dots of striking looks. He does not.
Caitlin still thinks he's hot.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely, you can still do that.
Caitlin's not nearly as into girls as she's into guys.
That's fair. But anyway, so he goes flying off, and the other 3 ravens are going with him. And as they get, just at that height where they're not really dealing with the illumination from the streets underneath them, anybody who was still watching them at the time, they get bigger. They get a lot bigger. Like, a crow is normally about 2.5, 3 feet tall. They're like 6 feet tall, but they're still definitely a bird. Ben, they took their near beast form.
Yes.
Cassie, to answer your question, you can turn into varying forms of bird, and by that I mean Birdman without the TV show,
No, I
Big
meant
Bird, and Normal
mechanics.
Bird. Oh, no, you don't know
Like,
until you do it.
Just later.
You don't know until you do it. It's the thrill of discovery, Cassie. Anyway, so Angeline shifts into a bird and kind of just starts circling up above so that you all can get in the car, and she starts leading you south.
This is weird. Definitely weird. I've also never been more attracted to a bird in my life.
Just imagine that.
It's
Just
kind
imagine
of
that.
funny because bird is also another word for girl.
Just imagine,
that,
Basil.
the group was gonna go
Dragon
in their
bird
own
baby.
I can't hear.
Everybody's talking over each other at this point.
Assuming that the group's going in their own car, at least Persephone would end up going to hers to grab what looks like a lead cane before following them in hers.
Tsukiko, that's not how biology.
I don't know.
You know what? I
Dragon
don't
bird
either,
babies.
actually. I don't actually know. Maybe it does.
Magical dragon bird babies.
Is anybody going to go ride with the weird lady in pink?
You know what? I will.
I kind of figured that Tsukiko was going to be like following Courtney and Brooke like a friggin' lost puppy, because yeah, okay, so I think we can summarize what happens in that car pretty straightforward. Ben's going to be gritting his teeth. Courtney and Brooke are going to be giving no end of crap by Yumiko, who's just like, but seriously, think about it. If you guys were okay with sharing dragon bird babies,
Magical dragon bird babies.
magical dragon bird babies, and immortal starbird babies.
Oh my god.
On the
Tsukiko,
nose.
This is weird, and if you don't shut up, I'm gonna dive out of this car and tuck and roll.
don't dive out of my car. You like having skin.
I would just like to point out in this magical immortal bird lizard baby thing, I don't even know if this body can have children.
That's a good question. You should probably try.
But imagine if it could. Imagine if it could, though.
Is Ben really gonna say you should try it, considering what they now know the world contains?
I mean, what's she gonna do? Stick an egg in me?
Over
Yeah.
Anyway,
I will be right back.
Mika, once you're done with your hiccups, you recover a point of willpower because you're going to pester the shit out of everybody for this 20-minute car ride.
And that was my whole goal. That was my whole entire goal.
Yeah, her vice, lust, summarized as vanity for goth pinup, and and she likes to play matchmaker.
Oh God.
What's really funny about the whole thing is Ben's just like, yes.
Like, that's true. You don't know. Maybe you should find out.
Like, this is like, no. When Brooke was like, what? Is she gonna shove an egg in me?
Yes.
But anyway, so
I've
the
heard
kicker
that's
is,
how they reproduce.
Honestly, after about maybe half of the car ride, the more that Yumiko goes on about it, Courtney will turn up the car stereo.
Wait, Ben, wait. They put eggs in people?
In your soul, yes.
That
Mika
sounds
turns on the car radio.
uncomfortable.
also Josh, that I'm gonna say he's completely bullshitting this and
He's
making it up.
bullshitting this entirely.
Okay.
But anyone who's played a certain game will definitely know what I'm referencing.
I don't know what you're referencing.
The Ritual of the Egg from Old World.
Yeah, that's not how they reproduce anymore.
I know, but he's totally
But-
bullshitting, and I'm making a reference.
Okay. I just, as long as out of character everybody knows that, in character, by all means continue.
So yeah, he's like, yeah, totally. That's what I heard. They put an egg in your soul, and then when the egg hatches, you turn into one of them.
I mean, she's really hot. Also, it might not be so bad to be,
A Bertalisk.
oh shit.
I mean, you guys need to keep, like, bloating time here, because Cassie had to go to the bathroom, and it's going to be Cassie and
I
Casey.
mean, I imagine flying would be fun. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, it'd be like when I take runs in the woods, except, flying, which is better.
I mean, I was just kind of thinking being able to turn into a big, kill you monster would be very, very useful. Especially if somebody were to reach through a mirror at me again.
It's all fun and games until someone decides to fuck with your head. Tonight's proved that much.
But anyway,
fucking abomination.
I can't say I wouldn't consider it, at least. Oh my goodness.
Do you need a minute?
We don't have a minute to give me.
I know, but
After this, I'll need a minute. Maybe.
Wait, I think I missed something. What does she need a minute over?
Time alone, at least. Oh god, that's terrible. I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. It's not what I meant.
Beep beep Basil.
I still don't know what that means.
It means you're talking too much.
Yeah, well. Oh my god, did you see her?
Yes, I saw her.
And we heard you.
Everyone heard you.
Trust me, my dick swelled 3 sizes that day, but you'd already established pretty a firm claim. And I ain't a scalper.
And just like that, I'm better. Thank you. Let's not say that again. Okay.
Besides, we have bigger things to worry about.
Boy, bigger than you? Because last time I saw... Hey, what happened to Gabumon wasn't okay.
Matt,
Am I the only...
no.
Oh no, please stop talking. But he just flipped off that fur coat. My heart just skipped a beat. Oh my god,
No.
if you stop talking, I will help you.
We're playing WOD right now. No Digimon.
Well, we're waiting on Cassie to be done in the other room because that's the scene we were going to cut to. But,
Oh,
that's the thing.
that is a thing.
Wait. Ben, are you saying you already know her?
No, I know where she lives, technically.
That sounds a little creepy, actually.
Hey, they told me where their haven is. I didn't tell them
fair.
where ours is, except in a general.
That's also probably for the best.
She did insinuate that she already knows what it is, though.
Yes, I mean, it's not hard to figure out. We walked out of the woods not far from where the haven was, so yeah, it's probably easy to figure out.
No, I just... What if you knew her? I had a few questions, but
Nope.
you don't, so okay.
First time meeting her, incredibly uncomfortable with how much she knows about us.
You're not the only one.
Also, why the hell was it?
I know I should be, but I'm just not.
Why the hell was it a problem to ask what they would charge us to take care of the...
No! Ben! You never, ever, ever admit you owe anyone anything.
They'd make us pay it
No.
anyway, Brooke.
You let them tell you. If they don't, you are off the hook and you cannot be screwed. If you admit that you are in debt, you are in trouble.
Correct.
That's how the spirit world works, but not how the real physical plane works.
Brooke, you now have the mental image of getting screwed by Angeline.
Oh my.
No, seriously. Let us talk about this. That's how the spirit world works, not how this real world works. They'll charge you regardless.
Ben, I got dragged away into another world with people who work like that. Except the difference is, unlike spirits, they can fucking lie to you. Alright, it's not just how the spirit world works. I don't know what Dr. Baker can do. I don't know what anyone else can really do. All I know is that if you admit that you owe the wrong person, you are fucked.
I like to imagine that you poking your desk like that was her poking the dashboard.
That works.
But then how did Jimmy go and turn up the radio?
He leaned forward.
He literally leaned over the front bench seat and was just like, "Oh, nope, done with this."
I will remember this when dealing with whatever the hell... yeah. Whatever society you have.
I'm just telling you, Ben, okay? You don't admit you owe anyone anything. You let them tell you what they owe you, and you make sure that is the end of it.
Tsukiko, you're having flashbacks to a thing that the priestess told you. Almost the same thing.
She has a point.
Yeah, works that way in your way of life too.
It's the politics of things, yes.
Okay,
You gotta
so
be careful. Super careful.
are we okay smash cutting back to the other car now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so smash cut to the car with Aoife and Persephone in it. So Aoife kind of comes walking up to the car that Persephone is in, just like, I'll ride with you. The other one's a little bit cramped.
She just kind of reaches over to open the door for her.
You're not coming through. One sec. Nope. Just drop out of channel, jump back in.
Harry,
There we go.
Yeah.
I think she's totally in riding with her to get dirt because she's paranoid. Um. So yeah, she gets in the car.
What kind of car is it?
I don't know. I don't do cars.
Me either.
It's a Prius.
How dare you?
You know what? You know what? Fine. Fine. It is a Prius. Let's just go with that.
I mean, sure, she can. In fact, we'll even say it's like a 2017 Prius. It's fairly new. She's a county medical examiner. She's not the only one, but she got money.
And you're in the Seattle area. It's not a bad thing to drive a Prius.
Like I said, I don't do cars, so it's like, yeah, sure, let's go with that.
Okay.
You have like stupid gas efficiency. Stupid good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so you guys are in the car, driving along, following Ben's vehicle that kills an entire species every time he turns it on.
So I'm sure you have questions. Go on, ask them.
Okay, what are you?
You know, I kind of expected a lead up to that one and not just flat out.
I'm not super subtle when I know that there's no reason to be.
Fair enough.
And
Um,
obviously you're not a bird.
No, half of them are quite taller than me, so that's a bit of a shock. Yes, I'm not a bird. Um, I'm not a spirit, I can say that without issue. Nor am I fucking dead, unlike your friend.
And you're not a shifter.
No. You just want to play 20 questions on this? That just might be the easiest.
You do magic.
Yes.
I mean, that was really the next logical choice. Not a shifter, not a whatever, undead.
Nope, I have a pulse.
And I would know if you were like me. At least I think I would. I figured out that Natalie was. Um, I kind of, yeah, I don't know. I'm still learning about what everything is and and whatnot. But
I guess in the simplest way, without it sounding like I stole it from a novel, I guess, I would be called a will worker.
okay, yeah, I know another like you, so
You'd be surprised how many people actually are. Kind of weird. Or at least how many you run into that end up becoming one.
yeah, the novelty of it is all wearing thin. I'm less and less surprised the more people that I meet. It seems like everybody that is around me is changing or
What makes me a bit curious is the motley crew you and the others are. Usually people stay with,
like with like.
like with like.
That is a much more polite way of saying than with their own kind.
Y'all need to be with your
I
own
was honestly gonna
kind.
just say what they've become.
Your mixing ain't natural.
Oh god.
Well,
Yeah, what was your ethnic heritage again? Just like throw some darts at a board. Anyway, back to in character.
I just think part of it was how the timing of everything, but that's a long story for another day.
I can understand that. Any other
So,
questions? And I'm just going to actually answer one that's probably going to come up. No, Eli is not in the same boat.
okay,
Not
but
with
he
myself or the crows.
but he knows.
He knows.
All right. I guess the next question, immediately relevant to what's going on. You surprises on a battlefield are not great. What can I expect?
To be perfectly honest, it's hard to explain.
I can do some of what you can, well, some of what will workers can do.
Really, no.
So I understand to an extent.
I was about to say, because I knew that your group would end up coming to my office, so.
Like I said, some not not you specifically. The will worker I knew was a mind
You
focused.
just see Baker just groan.
Hmm?
It's always the mind ones who try to screw things up.
Well, she's the one who is the catalyst
Right.
for me and the to some extent the others. I guess the Wendigo would have been regardless, according to him.
I can at least assure you that, unless otherwise provoked, I can at least keep you all alive.
All right. Well,
I
that's useful at least.
The Twilight isn't a zone that I've not even thought of looking into, so anything there is going to be a little new to me.
You mean the shadow?
There was comment about the Twilight being thrown around, so
Yeah, Twilight is the ghostly part on this side of the gauntlet. That's the part that you would be familiar with.
alright then. Yeah, she said shadow and stuff.
Okay.
All right. And I guess one last question is why? Why are you helping us? What do you get out of it?
To have a bit of a humorous option, uh, keeping people from having to be covered up, like your friend's case, it makes the work a lot easier. I won't have people coming around questioning why so many death certificates have the box about do not include on in the obituaries marked. Actual answer, I am kind of curious. I I won't lie about that. And also, you you're From what I can gather, you're all not exactly experienced with this yet.
Natalie was hoping to get out of it all. I guess in a way she did.
Unfortunately, death happens. It's just the way things are.
She thought that by not making a move to free herself, she would become normal again after.
Baker would actually like take a hand off the steering wheel, just kind of pat Aoife's shoulder.
No, I'm fine. I just
Roll subterfuge.
that one is definitely one that everyone knows is a lie.
Yeah, I will let you just choose to fail that one if you want.
Yeah, she's not fine. She definitely feels very guilty.
As I said, it is hard to lose a friend. But at least think of it like this. If you are able to get this spirit dealt with and to the judge, you might be preventing this from happening to others.
From this one.
But it all consider it a sort of message to be presented then. I am sure whatever grouping this one was in, they will know. If anything, the judge might do something. I don't know.
The one that I was bound to is extremely powerful.
I see.
And I just
One thing at a time. We'll get this done, and um, we'll just focus on this one for now.
yeah.
Baby steps.
She nods and wipes the tears away that had started to fall.
Okay, so we're gonna move on just a little bit, and
Ask her if Angelina's gay.
No, she was tempted to ask if the male burb was taken.
Okay, but if she did, you get the response of "Don't thirst after my associates."
She didn't actually ask.
anyway, so we're gonna cut to a little bit later. The Angeline leads you guys to a park in Tacoma, where there's 4 people off to I don't want to say off to the side, but you can obviously tell those 4 are together. You see the gentleman in the leather jacket again. It does not take much of a spot check to notice this dude's packing. He's got like a 45 on his hip and then a pair of Glocks on under not shoulder holster.
Oh, god damn it. Sorry, I just like you're like he's up nodding. He up nodded Ben for his leather jacket, and I'm just like completely like Brooke has a leather jacket that she wears.
Oh, well, there you go. We'll say that she was in on the nod.
Okay.
Then it truly is. Same
Super
jacket!
important.
All right. But, now, I will say, Basil, I want you to roll me intelligence plus firearms.
Okay.
Just Basil. Okay. You recognize some of how he's wearing these weapons.
Mm-hmm.
There are some guys that you saw from, oh, what are they called?
I don't know.
I'm looking up.
Okay.
From when she was deployed.
Uh-huh.
I'll put it this way: they were assistants from the United Kingdom, but they did not show up as a whole platoon. There was 6 of them, and that was it. And then 3 days later, you guys were told that your objective in the area was no longer relevant, and you moved on.
Huh. They came from where? Britain? You said?
United Kingdom, yeah.
United Kingdom? Mhm. Brooks just giving this guy this weird like look where
Like, who the fuck are you?
Who is this guy?
Anyway, so there's those
Caitlin's
4.
still giving the lusty look.
Right? She's hoping that he's packing.
wink wink.
Now, off to the just pretty much right next to them is 5 others. Or I'm sorry, this group is 6. Unfortunately, they've not been statted out, and I don't have pictures for them either. But you can, Ben, you know enough about the wolves to look at most of these guys and be like, 3 of them are glasswalkers. Hello.
I'm still listening.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. But yeah, so that it's like, well, yeah, of course they're obviously gonna be hanging out in the city. Actually, is Glasswalker's the right name?
Iron Masters.
Iron Masters. Thank you. Glasswalkers is Old World. Yeah, like you recognize the insignia, and which wolf did they swear to?
The Wolf of the Internet.
Red Wolf. No, Red Wolf. That like they like a couple of them have like their own like patches on their shirt or whatever on a backpack, and it's the insignia of Red Wolf. And so Angeline kind of circles the tree and then slowly lands and starts walking up as you guys are getting out of the car. And she just as she comes walking up, she kind of slips her hands in her pockets and like, "Hey, thanks for coming out. So we've got a problem." At which point the obviously pack leader just kind of looks at her and is like, "Well, obviously, we never hear from you unless there's a problem." Yeah, that's fair enough. So, the gist of everything is, and that's when he just kind of cuts her off. He's like, "Excuse, hold on. Why is one of them here?" And he just is glaring at Yumiko. At which point, Angeline just kind of looks over. She's trying to help fix it. Don't worry about it. We'll deal with that later. But right now, there's a male Jin running loose in Tacoma, and we need to find it. Obviously, we can't track it. He can't track it, and she gestures vaguely towards your guys' group. But this is close to your guys' turf. We didn't want to go running around without you knowing about it, and nobody knows how to track things through Tacoma like you do. At which point, the pack leader, who he just kind of smirks a little bit, puffs up his chest, and he turns to look at his pack. He's like, "All right, you heard the woman. Tonight we hunt." And they all get just, you can feel just the energy between all of them just rise just a little bit. And when he turns back to you guys, he says, "All right, this male Jin. Do you have anything of this thing, of the spirit?"
Ben considers for a minute.
You're not talking, Cassie. You have to say something. Oh, it's still trying.
Alright. So, Caitlin says we have its name. I don't know if this would help, but we have the books from the place where it is bound.
I may be stepping out of line on suggesting this, but could you track based on somebody that was bound to it?
No, not really. Many of us are bound to spirits in many ways. Does anyone have? You said that you have its name. Does anyone have something physically from it? Like, spirits bleed too.
Did we have anything from it?
I gored
Do you have
it.
the wrench?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you mean the wrench that I have?
Yeah,
Mhm.
pass it here.
I'll give it to Ben.
I approach the pack. I have its blood.
The pack leader looks at you, and his eyes get a little bit bigger as he's looking at you. Oh, tonight got real fun.
I'm sure it just did.
He holds out his left hand for the wrench as he offers his right to shake.
Okay. Ben shakes it and then passes over the wrench.
Okay, I want you to roll. Your. I want you to roll either. Oh, you don't have glory, so either honor. So you're rolling strength plus strength plus primal urge, and I'll let you choose between honor and purity.
I'll go.
What do you want to represent in this meeting?
Right now, Ben's probably going to represent purity. There, it finally selected Primal Urge. God damn it. So, strength plus primal urge plus 1.
Oh, I can't pick that. That's right. So this isn't a contested roll, simply how well you guys are representing what you are as you greet one another. And you said you're going for purity?
Purity.
He went for honor.
Okay.
And just as you guys shake hands, you can tell he's sizing you up. Like, he's not stupid, but you know he's one of those wolves that, well, from your time with Tiger Mountain Group, he's a Rahu. He is of the full moon.
Of the warriors.
Exactly. And when you shake his hand, he just, all right. He takes the wrench. And he looks at the head of the wrench, covered in this kind of. And since nobody had actually looked at it before, the wrench, the blood of this thing, it's red, but it's also wispy. Like when he lifts the wrench up and he moves it quickly, there's like this trail of like an after image of it, of just the blood. Ah, okay. Interesting. And he hands it off to one of his, who like swipes some of the half congealed blood off of it, wipes it on his tongue, makes a face like it's like he just put motor oil in his mouth. Oh, that is rancid. He scoops some more on his next two fingers, puts it in his mouth, and he pulls out a knife. And all of the wolves form a circle.
Caitlin is watching this like intensely now.
As is Courtney.
He
This
draws.
got weird. Brooke is watching Angeline instead.
And then he draws the knife across his tongue, so that some of his blood gets on it. And then he passes it to the Rahu first, who cuts his own tongue, and he passes it to the next one, and so on and so forth until all 6 have done it. And every time they do, they all make this face like, "Oh, that is disgusting," except for the Rahu, who you can tell, like, you could tell he thought it was absolutely disgusting, but it made him determined instead of repelled.
He got a murder boner.
Oh, he has his
I
murder boner
appreciate this.
is massive right now. And he just, all right.
Caitlin likes when she finds other people willing to murder this thing.
So the pack leader looks at the rest of them. All right. We all know what we're after now.
Are we all gonna get dragged into that other place again?
He just kind of, he had been raising his arm to point, and he turns to look at Basil and just says, "If you're not scared."
I just want to warn y'all, it's gonna get weird.
Okay.
All right, everyone over to the church. And he looks at the rest of you. Which of you all is coming?
I'll
Coming.
go.
Raise my hand.
I guess, is there anybody that's not coming? All right, Jimmy's not coming.
I said I was going.
But there was the squeak in the background.
Like
It's like, is there anybody who's not going? Creak!
My back hurt and I needed to readjust.
I'll make your back hurt, baby.
Wink, wink.
Can I watch?
Anyway, so you guys all go walking over to the church.
That's probably about the time Brooke gets out her gun.
Okay. Each of the
I'm gonna wait
birds.
till I'm out of sight. We're in a public park.
It's also like 3:30 in the morning.
It's still Tacoma.
That's fair. So each of the birds just kind of disappears on their own. They just fade away. as they cross through the gauntlet. Ben, you can step yourself through, and each of the
Okay.
wolves just put a hand on somebody's shoulder and bring them with them.
Yay.
This church that you're standing in front of it's one of those, like, it's one of the modern churches where they've got the weird, like, almost trapezoidal fucking front end or whatever. But it seems like ominously tall and way wider than it should actually be able to be to fit on this block. It's a local community landmark, so of course it's important to the shadow, so it's bigger, it's bombastic. And as soon as everybody is through,
And
each
Brooke's
of
the
the
lizard again.
and Brooke is back to being, friggin' Killer Croc with tits.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
Baker kind of was looking like, huh.
And you can see that the pack leader of these guys, Ben,
Yes.
honor, purity, cunning,
Oh, they can see me.
massive.
They can see Virgil or Virgilus.
No, Verglis is in the twilight.
Oh,
He
okay.
he doesn't come with you across into the shadow. He does not
Okay.
have the Numina for it. You'll have to give him a few points to do that.
Okay, no, I honestly thought that Virgilus was closest.
No, you're good.
Okay.
But yes, Aoife, they see your renowns of cunning and wisdom. Um, but yeah, like this guy, glory, honor, purity, a bit of cunning in there. This is not his first rodeo. And he knows when the birds talk, the wolves listen. And all of the wolves take their near wolf form. If any of you guys' characters have played D&D, you look at these and you're like, oh, that's where the stories of a warg came from. They are the dire wolf, and they howl. Now, those of you with associations to spirit stuff, you know that there is a meaning to that howl. That is a declaration of intent to the shadow itself. The pack is hunting.
Ooh.
And no spirit had better get in their fucking way. Because justice is coming.
I shiver.
You have no association to the spirits.
That doesn't mean I can't shiver. They just howled.
That's true, it's a very big
Courtney does, right?
Oh yeah, Courtney, you are a spirit. You primally understand. No. Do not get in their way. They are justified in murdering you at that point.
Okay, so I get this the tingly spine.
Mm-hmm. Ben, that howl, even though it's coming from a predator and you're based on a prey,
Yes.
you are a Wendigo. You know that justice is coming. You know punishment is on its way. You also know, and I'm giving you this as a heads up and out of character right now, if you don't tell them now to go for non-lethal, it's too late.
We need it drained of essence. We need to make it stand before the judge.
The Rahu looks at you, and it's difficult to speak the first tongue in the near wolf form, but it speaks in the first tongue and says, "We will do our best."
Oh.
And Brooke just has no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand
like-
that.
You basically hear a wolf and Ben talking gibberish to one another.
Well, because Ben was still in his human form, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Ben was speaking English. If or was he speaking in the first tongue?
Sure. Just to go along with what I already said, yeah, he'll speak it in the first tongue.
Okay, cool. Then he understands the importance of that. If you're going to say it in the first tongue, we will
Baker
try
just
our
kind of
best.
looks between them. It's like, this is what Eli feels like when I end up with high speech. Huh.
I don't know what that means.
Each of the wolves walks over in front of one of you guys that cannot shift into something stupid fast, and they kind of kneel down.
Can I shift into something stupid fast?
No.
Yes. Do you want to have antlers or do you want to have fur? Or fangs, I should say.
Oh.
Or feathers. Also, are you going to actually make the roll this time?
Well, I can try. I think I want to go with actually feathers.
Also, this guy has high ranks in purity. Do you want to shift in front of them while you're not a shifter?
That's a bad plan.
Oh. Freaking climb on one of their backs.
Ben goes to dire Servid. I'll take as many as I can who want to.
Isn't your strength at that point like 6? And your
Something-
size is like a 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could carry like 3 of the party members and still keep up with the wolves. Guess like who's gonna ride Ben?
Yeah, I'm size 12. Yeah,
You're
Ben.
not talking. Go ahead, Brooke.
I was gonna say no matter what happens, Brooke's still gonna have to ride a man, so it's uncomfortable.
I don't.
Period.
Well, for the sake of argument, right now, we'll say that there's at least one female in their pack.
I was just trying to make a joke, but you know.
I know. Well, and like I said, I just haven't statted these motherfuckers out yet.
Brooke's like, I want to fly. Pretty bird.
But yeah, among you, Ben gets really, really big suddenly. Let's see here. What is it? 12 feet tall at the shoulder and 10 feet in length? Something like that?
Let's see. Dire Servid. The Irish elk may be extinct, but it can live on than the Wendigo. Standing nearly 12 feet tall at the shoulder and 16 feet in length, this form grants huge antlers regardless of the Wendigo's gender, sharpened to points at their tips and angled in such a way that a stampeding dire elk can easily gore and bowl human after human out of their way. Their legs are thick and powerful enough that should a Wendigo need to give chase, their quarry is not going to make it far. Their teeth grow longer, sharper, and the skin seems tight over their face. In fact, the face of a dire elk is nearly devoid of fur until just below its jaw.
So yeah. That's
All right with Ben.
Courtney's murder boner's like, oh yes. Give me the death elk.
Bigger seeing that, she's just gonna put her cane up under her arm, go, I'll take the wolves.
He offers a ride to Yumiko, kind of specifically, because the wolves were kind of rude.
Well, it's almost like they're uncomfortable around the abomination.
Surprised they're not more uncomfortable around me.
Hey,
Yumiko have something back.
wasn't the abomination my nickname? The
No,
judge gave.
you were the anomaly.
Oh, that's right.
because you are a spirit. You're just a thing that's not supposed to be a spirit, but you are a
Right.
spirit, so that means you're mostly okay. It's just you're weird.
Uh huh.
Meanwhile, Tsukiko is dead.
Is literally the antithesis of what these guys are. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
saying there wasn't a reason. I'm saying that Ben is sympathetic to the fact that, like, if we hadn't gone through that whole introduction real quick, he was actually going to lean in and be like, by the way, that one walks with me, so
Oh,
Yeah.
God,
my
no.
respect goes to her as well.
Okay, so Persephone's on a wolf. Aoife's on a wolf.
I don't know. Are the wolves willing to?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, they can see that I have renown, but they probably could tell that I am not one that should have renown. So not
You're
sure.
to these guys, you're kind of in the same boat as Courtney. It's weird that you have renown. But you do, so you were acknowledged by spirits, so
Do
yeah.
I have renown?
No.
Okay. I was about to say.
You're weird because of your existence. She's weird because she's been acknowledged as a cunning creature in a way that spirits should respect.
Oh, okay.
They don't know that I didn't earn it.
Well, or rather, that the spirit that did the acknowledging is one that they are going to go kill. Okay, so
Mhm.
Aoife's on a wolf, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Courtney and Tsukiko are on Ben. Basil's looking for some, for a feline wolf to go try and ride, and Persephone's getting on a wolf.
Yep.
The birds all turn into what they call the Rock, ROC, not ROCK.
Oh man.
Imagine a raven with massive talons, about 6 or 7 feet tall,
Oh,
and when
Yeah.
they caw, or when they make that raven sound, it's loud as they take to the sky and are following the pack.
still can't help but think of Dwayne Johnson
Mm-hmm.
because you said The Rock.
Yes.
Just
Now, I'm going to save a whole bunch of rolls because it's not going to be difficult for these guys to track this thing. In fact, the ritual that they just did made it really goddamn easy. And in fairly short order, you guys actually see these broad pair of wings with a long body trailing behind it, flying over Tacoma.
Hmm.
And Angeline and the other ravens swoop down low. And in the first, and again, so only Courtney and Ben can understand this, but they can only talk in the first tongue in this form. We will drive it to the ground. At which point the wolves howl, and they go from running to sprint. And the birds fly forward. The one that was Leather Jacket Man, as soon as they get close, they kind of screech at it, and the spirit kind of like, you're not sure if it was startled or if what he just did was some sort of actual attack or not, but it like stumbles through the air, and as it turns towards them, you see him shift from that giant bird form to what looks like a, if you were, less aware of things, you would almost be like he just turned into a bird angel or Horus or something, but as a raven. And he goes taloned feet first, slams into the side of this thing, and pulls out that 45, aims it at the joint where its wing is supposed to connect at, and at point blank fires.
See, my crush just grew.
Yeah, same.
Now, here's where there's going to be the kicker, because this guy does have a character sheet.
Oh snap!
Oh snap! Oh snap indeed!
If they have character
Don't
sheets,
dissipate him on the straightaway.
So he's rolling a willpower, and okay, so willpower plus the dice on the gun. Now, here's the thing: when it fires, you guys notice it doesn't make the bang of a gunpowder shot.
Oh, whoops. Go ahead.
It was it sounds like a thunderclap of lightning, and there's a flash, but not like a muzzle flash. It's like a flash of white light as he shoots it.
That's a lot of dice.
He didn't get very much though. But yeah, that is a lot of dice.
Did you not roll it as an attack?
It doesn't get its defense.
Oh.
Yeah, downside of if you have a trait that makes it so an enemy doesn't get defense against a thing, you can't roll it as attack anymore. Well, I mean, I guess you could. I don't know. I have to figure it out. There's weird things going on with it. But anyway, short version is, you're not quite sure what happened, but it's obvious that it didn't hurt it per se. But it's for some reason like it's going down, and he just lets go and snaps his wings out, and he's drifting.
Hmm.
Yeah, he spent a willpower point on that attack too,
Mm-hmm.
which is why it was 6 extra dice instead of the 3 from the gun's strength.
I see.
Oh, but he also needs to spend an essence. And okay, cool beans. All right, so yeah, the tome bearer comes crashing down into the street, and it kind of like bounces from its momentum, and then its massive bear paws slam into the ground as it pivots and throws its back end up and over itself, and it skids to a stop, skidding backwards as it looks at all of you.
So, did we put our books back on?
I will say that right now it's not really relevant because he has healed. He has not healed enough. But yeah, so pretty much like those of you that are on a wolf, you pretty much get the idea of you're on your own initiative to try and get off of the wolves, or you're going along for the ride because they're not slowing down.
Okay, I'm gonna find a way off.
Just tuck and roll, I assume.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to roll dexterity plus athletics.
Yeah, I figured that.
Basil, what are you doing?
What was the question?
The wolves are charging at the tome bearer of silence. They're not
Okay.
slowing down.
All right.
So you can jump off and tuck and roll, or you can just hope you stay on.
I'm
Also,
gonna
Matt-
I'm gonna hang on.
Somebody used a willpower point? Does that
Yes.
count for me?
Yes, the Korax spent a
Alright.
willpower point, you still get the benefit.
Cats.
Okay, and what about the benefits I got last session? Do those ever reset, or do I just have them?
What do you mean ever reset?
Like, does it ever go back to default?
Okay, your max mana is 11.
Okay. Then I'm just at max. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Your butt.
Yeah.
Alright, Dex plus athletics.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
See, Persephone's gonna do the same thing, but she's gonna wait till she's a little bit closer before jumping off.
I failed. No, I didn't. Did I? Yeah.
You got 0 successes with a 1.
But
You dramatic failed. I would like for you to roll 3 die 10. Well, here, I'll do it. Advanced dice roller, because we have to do the exploding bit. Roll.
That's a 4.
No, what did I say?
3.
Yeah, that's what I meant to do. I'm just failing at clicking on the thing that I want to do.
Really?
That's
That
not
is
how
not
that
what
works. Well, the good news is you didn't take any damage.
The bad news is you broke your leg in 3 places.
That's unfortunate.
I don't know it'd be possible to break your leg in 3 places and not take any damage.
Only if you don't need your bones.
Pretty much.
Alright.
Okay.
Well, rolling off of something that is moving is a lot different than jumping a hurdle, that's for sure.
So what we'll say is that you're pretty much gonna lose your first action. You dramatic failed.
I know. We don't have rerolls.
Nope. You could have spent a willpower point. Willpower is always a viable thing. You just have to say you're doing it before you make your roll. Anyway, so what did you say Persephone's plan was?
She's gonna wait till they're up closer before jumping off.
Okay. And Basil's just staying on.
Yeah, Ben's gonna ride that wolf into battle.
Okay. What is the Wendigo's plan first?
Ben is going to attempt to charge it and pin it to a wall with his antlers.
Okay.
Like literally just hurt it and smash it in there.
Courtney and Yumiko.
Mm-hmm.
The elk does not seem to be slowing down either.
I'm gonna stay on.
I'm also gonna stay on.
Okay. So, everybody's going to still pretty much roll the same thing. Aoife, you're a little bit further back than everybody, and also on the flat of your ass. So, Persephone, go ahead and roll for trying to dismount. You're going to roll your dex.
And athletics.
Yeah,
Is it?
dex plus athletics.
Nope.
But you did not dramatic fail. So you tuck and you roll. It's not graceful. It kind of hurt. Well, it potentially hurts here. Greater than 8. That's what we're looking for. So I want greater than 7. All right. You take two bashing damage.
Right.
But you do at least manage to roll and recover enough that you're able to be upright. It's just that skid hurt. For those of you that are trying to ride the lightning, you're going to be rolling me your dex plus your drive.
Ooh, drive.
Fancy.
It's a skill that I actually have a point.
Drive and animal can, like, that's the thing. For riding things, it was either between drive or animal can. I would generally speaking say drive. Like, drive would be more for trying to maintain control of whatever you're riding and steering, but I'm just trying to get through this real fast. So go ahead and make your rolls.
Okie dokie.
Don't fall off.
Could be Dex, just saying.
I did say dex.
Oh, I meant athletics, sorry.
Okay, so Brooke manages to stay on. Tsukiko manages to stay on. Courtney, not so much.
Yeah.
Sorry,
that's okay.
Courtney.
It's all right.
So
At least I didn't critical fail.
Exactly.
It's true.
No, I get the privilege of doing that every time.
So Ben,
Yes.
I want you to roll me. We're going to give you your what would normally be your damage dice on your antlers.
Okay.
While you try to pin this thing. You're also going to get 4 additional dice, because what the wolves are doing is they're doing wolf tactics. Go for the ankles. Get it off balance.
Yes.
We're going for the chest. And to pin this motherfucker to a wall.
Yep.
So you get your damage dice from your antlers. And you're going to get a plus... Yeah, +4. I was trying to think back to that. I did say 4, right? And you're going to get a +4 as a circumstance bonus. Strength plus brawl.
Okay. Hang on, just real quick. So that's... Whew, that's a lot of dice.
That is a lot of dice.
Yeah, hang on. That's like
So you get what's your strength bonus?
strength bonus is oh, hang on. Dang it. I was looking at the Wendigo shapeshifting. Strength is 3. Brawl is 2, +1 for the pledge. And then
Plus the 3 from having shifted.
Yep.
Antler 3. 4. Wow, I can spell today. Okay, so you're rolling a plus 11 dice.
Jeez.
Do you want to spend a willpower point?
Nope, already rolled it.
Alright, with a roll of 5 successes, so a critical success actually, what happens, you guys see the antlered head dip down, the wolves dash ahead, grab this thing by, like, they nip at its forelimbs, and it kind of like pulls itself back up as if trying to swat them away before it looks up and realizes that's a lot of pokey things coming my way. Courtney.
Yep.
In anticipation of the impact, you try to hold on. You tried to hold on too much, given the charging motion of the antler or the elk that you're on.
Right.
And he accidentally bucks you off. Because
Okay.
you know, if you're not in rhythm with the animal's legs, they tend to collide with your pelvis and send you flying.
Right.
That sounds painful.
It is. And so what pretty much happens is Courtney goes up and backwards and pretty much lands flat on his face on the asphalt. But momentum's still a thing. So you land flat on your face and then proceed to go freaking ass over tea kettle.
Okay.
We're just gonna say you take a solid 4 bashing damage there and just save the die roll. As you bounce like 10-15 feet down the fucking road.
You know what? This normally would have sucked, but he gored the fuck out of that bitch. That makes it better.
And I'm going to describe the rest of this from Tsukiko's perspective, as she is the only person still on the elk. His head collides with this thing's chest right in front of you. You expected to hear the crunch of bone, but you don't. It's spirit. Like, technically they have bones, but they don't follow the rules of the physical world. And this thing screeches as it is bodily picked up, as massive as this thing is, and Ben barely even slows down as it is slammed its back against the wall. One of its arms impaled and stuck to the wall as well. Its other forelimb, like trying to flail, but it's for some reason it's not quite getting the level of movement that it should. Same with the wing on that side. That wing is outright limp. And while it tries to bring its rear legs, the owl taloned legs, up to bear, the wolves come charging forward, grab, and just one wolf on each side just dart under Ben's massive legs and clamp these huge jaws over the owl legs and shake their heads, and that's when you hear the snapping sound. You can't quite see what's going on under there because Ben is like leaning into this thing, holding it there with everything he's got. But what you do see is one of the wolves snap its head back over its shoulder, open its jaw to let go, and its foot flies off. The owl's foot flies off out of its mouth. Before another wolf comes jumping over that one, and mid-flight turns from the dire wolf into the full Garu form, into the wolf man, and it's snarling, and it reaches forward and just slams its left hand into this thing's shoulder, slams its right hand down against the spirit's still functioning wing to hold it still, opens its massive jaws and bites down into that joint. And then with all three of those points of contact, outright rips its wing out. And there's a spray of blood everywhere.
There's great music for this.
Right?
Tasty, tasty spirit blood.
And as that werewolf kind of like he ripped so hard that he actually sent himself flying back, and as he skids back down on all fours, he just throws his head back and just
Ooh.
and the rest of the pack just descends on this thing. It's numb wing ripped out as well. The numbed forelimb, not so much ripped out as just from where its knee would be down, it is shredded. It will never be able to. Well, I shouldn't. If it was a physical animal, it would never be able to use that again. And Tsukiko, you are in the middle of this brutal, just storm of blood, and you are getting covered in it. But it doesn't trigger your beast. This isn't blood. This is essence. This is something anathema to you, and it kind of makes you feel dirty. Not because, oh, this stuff is gross, it makes you feel gross. And a moment later, all of this happening within 3 seconds of each other, Ben, you just lift your head up, lifting the Tome Keeper with your head, and you turn, like you buck up, turn your head, and you throw it down onto the ground.
And then Brooke shoots it for good measure.
I was gonna say, can I call the child a Black Mother?
You can try.
Sure. Because it's pretty well defeated at this point, right?
Oh yeah, this, like, if this thing could stand, it would be fucking a monumental feat.
So yeah, Ben calls for the wolves to hold and calls out for the child of Black Mother to uphold its back.
I mean, I know it's a spirit and everything, but it's got no legs.
So how are you going to call the spirit, Josh? Because it said it was returning to the forest.
Right. I don't have anything to make the call, do I?
You do not have any gifts, no. That's fine. I mean, to be perfectly honest, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, if it's not going anywhere, I could just pick it up and walk away with it.
Are you going to let Suki go off and assume your hybrid form?
Is that form big enough to carry it?
You have the same strength modifier. You're just slightly
Okay.
smaller, but you have hands.
Okay, yeah. Ben will let Suki go off. He can't really tell her to get off, but, you know.
I think if the giant death elk kneels down and looks over its shoulder at you, I don't think you have to roll animal ken for that.
Yeah, basically.
So, any luck, Emily? I think she's having the issue.
Oh, goody.
It's okay, we're almost done. So Tsukiko dismounts. Ben assumes his war form and just grabs this thing by what amounts to the scruff and starts dragging it, walking towards where you know the judge's court is.
Take its head in my hands for a few moments. You cost me a member of my herd tonight. That was the worst mistake you made.
And of course, spoken in the first tongue because you can't speak English in that form.
Yes.
Would you like to make a pass, just an intimidate roll?
Sure.
Yeah. So presence plus intimidate.
I have such poor dice in this, but okay.
I mean, to be fair, I think we're going to go ahead and give you like a plus. Well, here we'll go with this way. Add primal urge and honor to this. You're rolling a lot of crap.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's intimidated to shit because he realizes, oh no, they're not just gonna kill me.
No, we are not.
You can kind of see within this thing's like very very large owl eyes that it's realizing that destruction would be a mercy at this point.
Can I just say justice dickbag in the first time?
Kind of. There's not a term for dick bag in the first tongue.
I was gonna say I don't think the first tongue has a word for dick bag.
Well, whatever is the closest approximation to it.
I mean, you could just call it what it is, a Maelgin, which is, a corrupted spirit.
Okay, so justice, Maelgin. Then I'll say in English, dickbag.
So what you guys hear out of Courtney's mouth? Something as he's finally skidded to a stop in the road and is finally picking himself up. Something like Hishketh or some gibberishy sounding word, and then Maelgin, and then dickbag.
Classy.
So the wolves take up formation pretty much around this thing, keeping an eye on it. The ravens.
That's when Brooke hops off the wolf and gives it a good swift kick.
The wolf?
The wolf, sorry.
English is a funny thing.
Right? The owl bear.
Okay.
Give it a good swift kick for Natalie.
And yeah, so the ravens all assume their regular raven form. And you can tell that they're definitely following this through because this is going to be some good rumors. And
I really want to shoot it, but
don't shoot it. You could doom your character.
Ultimately, I just stand up and brush myself off. Now that I can finally move.
So there's one thing that I feel like I probably should have addressed before. Persephone. You know that this place is not really what your path to power really deals with. You can if you wanted to. You've known people that do this, so none of this is unfamiliar to you. It's just this is a place that you don't really have a ton of control over. But you do know that your primary arcana can mess with things here if you did need to. So, like, if you wanted to use your Death 3 to attack the spirit, like, if it had come to that, you could have hurt it with that magic. But yeah, so you guys, it's pretty easy going. Nobody's going to mess with a pack of friggin' of half Iron Masters, let alone their very respected Rahu Alpha, especially after their declaration of a hunt. You guys walk through the shadow of Tacoma until you approach the judge's court. And as you approach the line, that there's always a line here. There always seems like there is. You're not sure if some of them are just part of the place itself, because the perspective of the court system. There's always a line. But when the Wendigo, when an avatar of spiritual justice comes walking up, dragging a battered spirit by the back of its neck, the lines part. The wolves shift into their near-wolf forms. They almost look like Neanderthals with fangs in their mouths. And they come walking in, and they stop. They end up stopping at the doorway to the courtroom itself. Ben, I'm assuming you're just marching yourself straight in there.
Yeah.
Courtney's gonna go sit in one of the in the
Benches.
yeah.
What is everybody else doing as you're looking into this courtroom full of all these alien-looking creatures?
Just, I don't know, following everybody, I guess.
Follow Courtney's lead.
I'm observing.
Yeah.
Seriously, I
thank
got
you.
nothing.
Follow
I
Courtney.
feel like.
Cassie, you were talking over Casey.
Oh, sorry.
Baker's gonna follow Courtney.
Okay, what were you saying, Cassie?
Oh, I said, I feel like it would hurt to put my time lens on right now, so I'm not going to do that.
That is a wise choice. Okay, so, and Tsukiko, what are you doing?
I'll just stay in the doorway.
Okay. The guards to this place are definitely giving Tsukiko the side eye, but because there's one of the wolves standing right next to her, they aren't saying anything.
The side eye of all 16 eyes.
Oh, because you remember the guards are like living statues.
Ah. The side granite.
Yes. And the ravens kind of flit in, and they're also like perching themselves on like the rafters, chandeliers, or the light fixtures, or something. The reflection, like that. There are things for them to stand on up above. And as you come walking, so how does Ben approach the judge with this?
That's a good question.
Hey,
You are in your war form, and you are only speaking in the first tongue.
Hey, I really hate to do this, but it is 12:30, and Frank has to be at 4, so
That's fine.
I'm gonna hop off.
Take it
That's
easy,
fine.
man.
Have a
Alright,
good night.
have a good
I'm
night,
pretty
guys.
sure you can
Bye.
infer how the rest of
Night.
this is going to go anyway.
I'll listen to it tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Right.
Good night.
So how does Ben approach the judge?
Ben brings the creature before the judge. Is there like a defendant stand?
Not really.
Not really. No.
You just kind of come to the judge. There's like maybe a podium. Oh, there's sometimes a podium.
He throws the battered thing before the judge.
It kind of flumps and tries to right itself, but it doesn't have the limbs to do so, and just slips to the ground again.
Honorable judge, I bring before you this creature of avarice. This, what was the name for it, Matt?
Melgen.
Melgen.
M8. I'll put it into chat.
Okay. This male Jin, who has been preying upon humankind with malevolent pacts of unfair terms, who has been covetously hoarding knowledge within a wound that blights that blights the shadow.
Now, for those that don't remember what the judge looks like, imagine Lady Justice with a hood and a the blindfold that it would normally have, but there is no face behind that blindfold. Just kind of darkness underneath that hood, and it has, was it 4 or 6 limbs, Josh? I want to say 4.
I think it was 4.
And like one of them is holding up a sword, another one's like got a scale, another one's got a gavel, and its arms just kind of stay up as it lowers its long neck to look towards the spirit. It would be found guilty alone on its own palpable corruption. And yet you level more charges against it and bring it to my court for prosecution. Why?
One of the pacts that it made was with a member of my herd, and it has taken the life of this member. I seek due vengeance.
You would be well within your rights for its destruction. Absolute. On your own authority as such. It struck against you and yours. And reprisal is the way of spirits. I sense there is further motivation within you, Wendigo.
In order to protect another of my pack, it cannot be allowed to reform within its wound and inform its brood.
There are more of them.
Yes.
Just as this one is. Consumed.
Yes.
Its heart blackened.
Yes.
It looks at the spirit at the tome keeper, or tome bearer, sorry. And even though the owl bear has not said a word so far, tome bearer of secrets, and the spirit's eyes kind of glaze over, like they're not really in focus. And despite not like it shouldn't be able to stand up, it is forced to stand, lopsided as it is, and it turns to face the judge. You are compelled by this place and by my rights. Does the Wendigo speak the truth? And the spirit is silent for a moment. And you can tell that it's struggling. And Ben, you can see this. You're the only one up there, but you can see this thing's face. It wants to say no. It believes the answer is no. That you are being unfair. This is how they are. This is what they're supposed to do. This is their calling. This is the highest calling that their brood could possibly have.
Ben shifts into near human. Yeah, and how do you like when someone fucks with your head, asshole?
And it kind of looks at you like, actually now kind of angry, because it's upset that not even at what you said. You could tell that like it registered what you said, but it's trying to process this whole, why can't I defend what we are? And then it looks at the judge and is compelled to say, the Wendigo speaks the truth in the first tongue. Because again, all spirits only speak the first tongue. At which point, the judge turns to you, Ben. Its essence is yours to claim, and its execution shall be carried out by this court. The tome bearer of secrets has been found guilty of charges as presented, and its kin are additionally held in the same contempt. No wound should be allowed to fester. And none may... I'm trying to figure out how he would phrase it. And no spirit should go against the nature of our agreements. No spirit is above the laws that we all must negotiate by.
Okay, hold on a second.
Okay. What's up?
All spirits speak first tongue.
Uh-huh.
So basically, as far as those of us have nothing to do with any of this are concerned, they're all up there just speaking gibberish right now, right?
Yes.
Up until Ben makes the comment of, yeah, it sucks when somebody fucks with your head, doesn't it, asshole?
No, the exact words
That's
are.
why I am the one laughing, not Caitlin.
The exact line
Okay.
was, "How do you like it when someone fucks with your head, asshole?"
There you go.
Just checking.
Yes. But anyway, yeah, so no spirit should go against the nature of how we negotiate our agreements. And that's when he looks up, or when it looks up to the Corax. And the name that he says when he talks to Angeline, who floats down and assumes her war form, which again, I guess the nice part for Brooke here is she doesn't know that it's Angeline that does this, but yeah, imagine she turns into I posted this somewhere. God damn it, we posted a lot of shit in the Path of Fate channel. It's not really relevant.
Like Angeline, but less hot because now she has feathers.
No, not quite, because she's in her war form. She doesn't look a damn thing like Angeline right now. Okay, I'm gonna give up on trying to find this picture because I think it's gonna take longer than I want it to. But so she's got the raven's feet, and she's standing about like 5.5, 6 feet tall, and she's just an all like if you were to think anthropomorphic bird, but with wings coming out the back of their shoulder, kind of like angel like. Oh, here we go. Copy a link. I'm just gonna post it here. Path of Fate. She looks like that, but instead of the yellow for the feet and claws, it's black because ravens. Whoever colored that's fucking stupid. And so that is standing there on the opposite side of Ben from where the tome bearer is. And she looks up to the judge. And messenger. Keeper of the spire. Ensure that all know that this one's brood is condemned by the laws of the shadow, by the decree of the judge. As far as my influence will span, I want as many as I want every spirit to know. And she just kind of nods and says like a fairly quiet thank you for your trust and your thank you for your trust in my people. At which point, Ben, you are free to feed off of the spirit and consume its essence.
Ben does so.
All right. I believe. What do you roll for
Angry plus angry.
that?
You forgot the modifier of angry?
Mm-hmm.
Hungry?
Hangry.
Yes, I was gonna say hangry.
Okay. Um. Hmm. I'm just trying to find the thing for where, like, how you recover your essence, because it's there.
Hang on.
I mean, I guess for the sake of narrative, it doesn't really matter. Either way, what we'll pretty much say is that. Oh, okay, right. It's you regain essence by just eating it, literally.
Well, that just got disturbing.
So remember all
Yeah.
the questions of, hey, do you actually eat people? Now everyone begins to question that and understands why. Nom 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 nom.
So, what form are you going to do this in? Because most of your forms have sharp teeth.
Can I go back into war form?
Yeah.
Okay, he does it in war form.
Cool. So Ben shifts again, and he's again this massive bipedal Wendigo thing, and he just starts tearing into the spirit
Oh.
that you feel like you would expect it to try and
Like resist?
yeah, but the judge has spoken, and in this place, the judge's word is law.
That is a little gross.
And eventually, as it's getting to the point where this would be its death, it begins to kind of fade away, as if it were to it was evaporating into smoke itself. And the judge lowers one of its arms, the one with the sword, and points the tip of the blade towards that developing cloud. And the cloud simply bursts into flame as he destroys the spirit. and then it brings its sword back and points the and I should say that as it's holding the sword up, it's holding it with the blade pointing down. Once it's done destroying the thing. And then it turns back to Ben. And looking at you expectantly. Or I should say waiting. Not necessarily expectant.
I thank you for your fair judgment, Judge. You honor me.
Is what I do. No. But it just nods its head. And you honor this court with your trust.
And yeah, he's going to gather up the rest of the group and leave. Unless there's something further expected of him.
Not really.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much done.
Yeah, the judge doesn't really say anything else. And as soon as you walk out of the courtroom, judge just goes right back to business as usual. The birds fly out and most of them scatter to the four winds, except Angeline, who walks out shortly behind you and shifts back into her human form. And the dude that tackled the freaking thing is standing on Ben's other side and also shifts into his human form. Here you go, Cassie. Enjoy your eye candy.
Well, that was disturbing.
It tasted
He
really
is
gross.
Totally checking him out.
Really, what does a spirit taste like?
Well, it was corrupted, so
Clearly not chicken.
no.
That was bad.
Both of the Koraks look at you like you just. I'm not sure. And Angeline just says, I'm not sure if that's racist or not.
I mean, she has feathers too.
At which point the British dude just kind of looks at her and is like, Are you for real right now?
Honestly, it tasted a little bit like
Talking
like-
to me or
tar in book learning.
okay.
Huh. That's weird. The fact that you know what that tastes like is weird.
Some things have the very distinct smells, but other things taste like their smells.
That's when the one of the wolves walks up, the pack leader, and he's in his human form as well. Well, the truth of the matter is, once you taste what a spirit tastes like, it's less of a you infer and more you just know.
Right.
On the note of setting things right, I appreciate you all looking through to see this through, but you all shouldn't be here. As he points at Basil, Tsukiko, and Aoife. So on the gesture of allies for the night, let's get you out of here before someone has an issue with it.
I am perfectly okay with that.
Please take me.
I mean, I'm stuck with this face, but at least they don't have to look at it.
You know what? No, they're not really my associate. So you know what? If you want to thirst after them, go ahead.
Okay, wait, what was Persephone in a tiff about?
She's about to do the whole, don't thirst after an associate. She's like, wait, no, werewolves aren't really my associate. Go ahead.
What? Because I said, please take me.
Yeah.
So that's where that's where the Rahu actually puts his arm over Aoife's shoulders, like, I like you, and you both disappear as he walks you through the gauntlet.
Somebody appreciates my humor.
Right.
No, nobody appreciated mine.
Oh, Angeline was all over yours. She was all over your comments like you were all over her.
Yes.
I'm just waiting on an answer back from the person who controls this character to figure out, is she even into girls? I don't know.
Knowing the person that controls this
Probably not.
character, probably not.
Maybe. You never know.
Tsukiko,
Yes?
let's go home. Angeline,
Yeah.
could you grab Basil? I'm sure she'd like that.
Yumiko chimes in. Of course she'd like that.
Shush you.
Damn it.
Angeline walks over and is like, you're not going to need to clean up after this, are you? And just hold. She reaches over. Hold on. She reaches over and she holds your hand and walks you through the gauntlet.
Oh.
I might.
And with that, all the dumb things Ben has done is automatically forgiven. Until he makes more dumb things happen.
Oliver walks over to Persephone and he just offers an elbow.
She takes the elbow.
I'll also take Courtney, because he's all like in physical body form.
Totally missed the option.
So Oliver walks her through, and so Ben, to bring Courtney back is going to make it a lot harder because you're bringing back the most difficult person already, and then bringing another passenger means you might have to come back.
Yeah, I'll have to make 2 trips. Okay,
So
Tsukiko
just
first.
just let a wolf do it. You have 6 wolves and 5 birds. There's enough people.
Yep. And they all get across the shadow, or the gauntlet, and as they emerge, or Ben emerges the second time, as Ben emerges, he goes, "Son of a bitch, my car's back at the...
That does raise the question, are you guys going to make it back to wherever you're staying for your friend?
At this point, you've got about 2 hours before sunrise.
Yeah.
That gives us plenty of time.
We'll just grab an Uber.
Grab an Uber to the car, you mean?
Got me eye.
Brooke, she finally lets go of your hand.
The Uber is not taking us to our place.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Just wanted that clarified.
What are we doing? What?
We're going home, Basil.
Right.
hold on.
Yeah.
I need to send the thing first.
I don't know why I can't get your name right, why I keep saying Basil.
That's fine.
I think it's because changelings and plants, you know.
I don't know.
Yeah, they like the book is covered in thorns and roses and, you know, plant motifs, and it's very green.
Thorns, definitely. For a reason.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to time out for a second because it is getting very, very late. There is one last thing that I did want to do, but also I know, Casey, you have stuff to do in the morning.
Yeah.
Cassie, you have stuff to do in the morning. Are you guys okay with dropping one more half hour into this, or do you want to wait?
I can probably do one more half hour.
I can do one more half hour.
Okay. Casey, look at your DMs.
Ugh, cat. If anything, it would probably be proper for you guys to swing by the office. If only to make a check of things.
When?
Well, from the way you guys are making it sound, you won't have that far of a travel to go to wherever you're staying. Either way.
From here, because from here our place isn't that far. From Seattle, it's pretty far.
Kind of like you guys would be able to make it up there and say
Oh my God,
goodbye,
yeah, I threw.
and then get to go back to Gikarbro before the sun comes up. You would have time to do that.
If we hurry, we can probably do that.
Have to hurry.
Because as much as it sucks to have to hurry your goodbye, at the same time, the sooner that body is out of Persephone's office, or sorry, I should say Dr. Baker's office, the better for everyone involved.
All right.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah.
So, despite the victory over thrashing what was left of the Tome Bearer, you guys, we'll go ahead and say that you guys find a fairly quick way back to the cars. You guys drive back up to the office. The front door of the office is locked. It's almost sunrise. Eli is leaning back in his chair, passed the fuck out. But when the door opens, he comes back to, and he's always been a quick waker. Yeah, so I hope it went well. But talk about it later. You guys look like you need to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So he stays there to watch the front door, make sure that nothing's interrupted. Angeline flew back with you guys, but once you guys got to the door, she's kind of just waiting outside. Well, I should say Angeline and Oliver. The other three fucked off. And yeah, so you guys come walking into the room where Natalie is laying on one of the examination tables, still dressed, with a cloth over her eyes. Out of character, Persephone, you know exactly why that cloth is there.
Yep.
But as for once, out of all of the time that any of you have ever known her, she doesn't look, I was going to say jittery, but she finally doesn't look anxious. And Ben, you're reminded of how quite a while ago you made to yourself the oath that one way or another you were going to free these two from what they were trapped by, even if it led to this.
I'm just sorry that this was the cost.
Aoife, when you're looking at her, you realize just how close that could have been you. You know that with how weird everything has gotten, as much as it sucks to realize it only now, this group may be the closest thing that you guys have to a family anymore. And that made Natalie the closest thing you had to a sister in a long time. Yumiko, you remember getting to have quite a few conversations with her before all of this went down, before all of this happened. And when you look at her now, you realize that the piece that you see on Natalie's face, you know, is going to forever be beyond your reach because of what you are. And in one way, you're kind of envious, I would imagine. Beyond how you feel with being responsible. And then Brooke, the one who wants to try to mama hen everyone. She was both a coworker and probably one of the most forthright people with Brooke before all of this change happened. Even if she was a bit headstrong with her superstitions, at the same time now it's kind of hard to hold her accountable for that. And then Courtney, you weren't familiar. You didn't know her for very long.
Courtney's not here, man.
Oh, right. Well, but still, for the recording, he's going to listen to it tomorrow.
Fair enough.
Didn't know her for very long. But again, she was forthright. It didn't take much to know exactly what kind of person you were dealing with. Courtney, the very spiritual side of you, ends up looking at all of this with knowing that regardless of how bad and how parent anxiety inducing her situation may have been, losing her is a loss for not just your guys' group. But she was definitely the kind of person who would have done many things to try and help as many people as she could. And that kind of a thought is obviously reflected even in Verglis, who is very closely bound to Courtney. Persephone off to the side, fairly estranged from all of this, but getting to look over these five, having to say goodbye to their friend, and knowing that from what you've been able to piece together, they're still green. You can tell they may have had to say goodbye to family before, but this is the first time they've had to say goodbye to someone in this life. So, going honestly left to right as far as the cast goes here, what do you say? Starting with Aoife.
I'm sorry. Could have stopped all of this. I should have tried harder. It's Ben's turn.
I am truly sorry that this was the cost. I did promise freedom, though, and I hope you found it.
When you're done, just go ahead and say it's the next person's turn.
Yeah, next.
We'll we'll just skip over Courtney for the moment. So Suki goes up.
You look very peaceful now. I hope it's peaceful wherever you are, because I know I won't be able to feel that myself. But I am glad you're free. Next.
Emily, you're up. Oh, cool. Discord died again.
Fuck you, Discord.
Mm-hmm.
How about now?
Now you're good.
Natalie. I know we weren't that close. I'm not really that close to anybody. I don't know. Kind of like we were closer because we worked together. That's probably stupid. Why am I talking to you like you can hear me? This is stupid. This is my fault. I should have. I should have been firmer or louder or something. You didn't deserve this. I'm gonna do better. Have to do better. I'm sorry.
Persephone, you have anything to add to this?
She would actually stand back and let them have their time.
Okay. So, at that point, as you all, slowly shuffle out of the room, Eli is kind of like he's standing in the hallway, but he's obviously far enough away that he wasn't overhearing anything through the closed door. And as Persephone's walking you all out, he just kind of gives her a nod with the knowing gesture of it'll get taken care of. And he goes into the room to go start trying to get ready to make sure that somebody died tonight, but it wasn't Natalie.
Like walking them out, Baker's gonna look at them going, I understand the loss that you all suffered tonight, but considering everything, if you need someone to speak to, I can at least offer a shoulder.
That's appreciated, but I think we'll lean on each other.
Caitlin nodded in agreement. No, she does reach out to squeeze Dr. Baker's hand. Thank you.
I'm gonna probably pass, but I appreciate it.
Likewise.
I understand.
So, is she gonna walk with them out of the building, or just stay in the lobby there?
She's gonna walk them out.
Angeline's standing out there, and she kind of like, and Oliver's like against the, he's like against a light post, and Angeline's next to the door. She pushes herself away from the wall. You guys did good tonight, though. I understand it. I understand the cost is never good, but she kind of shrugs one shoulder only. Tonight was important. So, nowhere to look but forward. She's gonna reach over and, with a knuckle, just kind of bap the Wendigo on the shoulder, and then kind of bap the Wendigo on the shoulder with one hand, Brooke on the shoulder with the other. Wave at everybody else, just like a kind of like a catch you later wave, before her and Oliver shift back into ravens and fly towards the Space Needle, because they have work to do.
Because it would meet a hot guy in a day when my eyes are all puffy with tears.
No thirst after my associates.
She.
Nah, don't worry about it. You look cute anyway.
She bumped me too. What does that mean?
I mean, she thought you did a good job.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
You did the first time.
No. I didn't do enough the first time. I didn't do anything this time.
Neither did I.
I fell off a werewolf.
I'm covered in whatever
Oh no,
it
that
was full of.
disappeared. That disappeared when you came back through the gauntlet.
You didn't make that known.
Yeah, I know I didn't. I apologize.
I'm covered in spirit goo.
Ew.
Slimer showed up. Anyway,
It's
so
okay. You look cute too in the invisible goo.
so
You'd think that any female looks cute.
I'm not apologizing.
so to get things back on track a little bit, because it's late. Everybody goes ahead and gets in the car. A little bit of, banter back and forth. Admissions of guilt, pretty much across the board. Giving each other what friendly jabs you can to try and help it take away some of the sting. As you drive back home with what family that you do have after all of this. So, next week we will not be meeting up. I don't believe we might. We'll see. But for tonight, and closing out this chapter of the story, everybody say goodnight, Natalie.
Wait,
Good night,
actually,
Natalie.
wait. Can we end this on them back at the Haven? And before Tsukiko has to go to bed, Brooke comes around, gives everyone a beer, opens it up, and raises up like to Natalie.
To Natalie.
To Natalie.
Except she wouldn't drink beer.
And I can't drink beer.
Everyone's got one, god damn it.
Just
Drink it anyway.
nope. If the drink is to Natalie, pour it out.
There you go.
Say goodnight, Natalie.
Okay.
Night, Natalie.
Good night, Natalie.
Wake up, my friends, tell us what you have to say. dreams and nightmares must light your way. What may come, the fight goes on for one more day. Whenever lives and prayers must die away, who brought this curse and led us all astray? The day has died and emotion is fade. Wake up, my friends, the dreams and nightmares will die for just one more day.
Thank you, everyone, and I hope you join us again on Season 2 for The Path of Fate.